Once a year, a small group of men load a chest of gold coins onto a ship and sail into the heart of an empire that could erase their entire country in an afternoon. They are not prisoners. They are not slaves. On paper, they are the proudest citizens of a free and independent republic. But every single year, for over 300 years, they make this same trip, bowing before a sultan, handing over a fortune, and formally declaring themselves his loyal subjects. And every single year, the moment they sail home, they go right back to running their own laws, their own courts, their own government, as if that ceremony never happened. This isn't hypocrisy. It's the single greatest survival strategy in the history of small nations. And it worked so well that this tiny republic outlasted empires 100 times its size. Picture a city with no army worth mentioning, squeezed onto a narrow strip of rocky coastline, surrounded on every side by powers that could crush it without breaking a sweat. To the west, one of the most aggressive naval empires in history, constantly hunting for new territory to absorb. To the east and north, an empire so vast it stretches across 3 continents, its armies having already swallowed every kingdom in the region. This tiny republic has no natural resources worth fighting over except one thing: its location. It sits directly on the trade routes connecting east and west. Most cities in this position get conquered. Most cities in this position don't get a choice. This republic finds a third option nobody else thought of, and it's about to make them richer and freer than nearly every other kingdom in Europe. For a while, this republic survives by paying tribute to a nearby kingdom for protection. A normal, unremarkable arrangement. But then the political map of the region changes forever. A massive Islamic empire storms through the Balkans, crushing armies 20 times its own size and absorbing kingdom after kingdom into its territory. Within a matter of decades, this empire's border creeps to within a single day's ride of the republic's walls. The council that governs the republic watches this happen in real time. Every neighboring power that tried to resist has been erased from the map or reduced to rubble. Every kingdom that stood and fought is gone. The council has 2 options left: fight an unwinnable war or find a way to survive that no one else has tried. They choose neither surrender nor resistance. They choose something stranger, and it requires convincing the most powerful man in the world that they've already given up. In 1458, the Republic's diplomats travel to the Sultan's court and make an offer no one expects. They will pay an annual tribute, gold, year after year, without fail. In exchange, they ask for something the Sultan rarely grants. They keep their own government, their own laws, their own courts, their own religion, and their own flag. On paper, this looks like total submission. The Republic is now, officially, a vassal of the empire. In practice, almost nothing changes. No Ottoman soldiers occupy the city. No Ottoman governor sits in their council chamber. The Republic still negotiates its own treaties, still trades freely with the empire's enemies, still runs itself exactly as it always has. They didn't lose their independence. They performed losing it, convincingly enough that the most powerful empire on earth left them completely alone. But performing submission to a suspicious, unpredictable empire for centuries is far harder than it sounds, and one mistake could turn a peaceful tribute mission into an execution. Every year, the Republic sends its tribute mission to the imperial capital with theatrical precision. The city's nobility gathers to formally see the envoys off, a public ceremony designed to look like an ordinary diplomatic visit, quietly concealing just how politically dangerous this trip actually is. The diplomats are trained in the empire's language and customs. They study the shifting alliances inside the imperial court obsessively, because a single misstep, appearing too friendly with a rival empire or too slow with a payment, could be read as betrayal. And betrayal at this level doesn't end in a stern letter. It ends in the Republic being erased. The stakes are absurd. This tiny nation is essentially running a decades-long, uninterrupted diplomatic performance in front of an audience that could destroy them the moment they suspect they're being played. And it's not just the empire they have to fool. There's a second, older rival watching just as closely, And this one wants the Republic gone entirely. The Republic's most persistent enemy isn't actually the empire they pay tribute to. It's their neighboring maritime rival, a naval power that has spent centuries trying to absorb every trading city on the coast, including this one. This rival watches the Republic's relationship with the empire with growing frustration. If the Republic is a tributary of the empire, attacking it directly risks provoking imperial retaliation. The Republic has essentially borrowed the protection of the most powerful army in the world, without ever hosting a single one of its soldiers. It's a brilliant, almost absurd inversion. The empire that could have conquered them for free is instead unintentionally guaranteeing their independence from everyone else. But maintaining two rival powers' trust at once starts to strain the illusion, and eventually, the Republic has to prove its usefulness in ways that go far beyond gold. As decades pass, the Republic doesn't just pay tribute, it makes itself indispensable. Its ships carry goods and information between East and West that no one else can move as efficiently. Its diplomats quietly pass along intelligence gathered from across Europe. It offers services ranging from trade access to medical expertise, anything that keeps the empire's trust intact and the tribute payments looking like a bargain rather than an obligation. The Republic's leaders understand something most of their conquered neighbors never grasped. Submission that costs the empire nothing extra to enforce is submission the empire is happy to leave alone. Occupying a city costs soldiers, money, and constant unrest. A wealthy, cooperative vassal that pays on time and causes no trouble is simply more profitable left as it is. The Republic isn't hiding from the empire's power. It's making its own freedom the most convenient outcome for everyone involved. For 3.5 centuries, this strategy works without fail, until a threat arrives that no amount of diplomacy can perform its way around. The empire that once threatened to erase the Republic eventually begins to weaken, and so does the entire balance of power the Republic spent centuries carefully maintaining. New empires rise. Trade routes shift away from the Mediterranean entirely, draining the wealth that once made the Republic valuable to anyone. Then, in the early 1800s, a new kind of threat arrives, one that doesn't care about centuries-old treaties or diplomatic performances. A French army, marching under a general who has already redrawn the map of Europe by force, arrives at the Republic's gates. For the first time in over 300 years, there is no clever arrangement to offer, no tribute this new power wants, no illusion of submission that will satisfy him. The council that once outmaneuvered the largest empire on Earth for 3.5 centuries finds itself facing a force that doesn't play by the old rules at all. The Republic that survived by pretending to fall is finally forced to actually fall. But even then, it won't be forgotten. In 1808, the general formally dissolves the Republic and absorbs it into his own empire. The government that had run itself independently since the 1300s, through plagues, earthquakes, and the rise and fall of surrounding empires, officially ceases to exist. No last stand, no dramatic siege. The Republic that spent centuries mastering the art of surviving by appearing to have already lost, simply runs out of empires left to perform for. But here's the strange twist buried in that ending: nearly every other kingdom that resisted its powerful neighbors outright, that fought wars of pride instead of wars of patience, was absorbed centuries earlier. The Republic that chose to look weak, to bow publicly while staying free privately, outlasted almost all of them. Its name survives too. The word used across Europe for a large merchant ship comes directly from this Republic's own name, a small linguistic echo of a nation that built an empire's worth of wealth and freedom without ever raising an army worth mentioning. Sometimes surviving an empire doesn't require defeating it. It just requires convincing it you already have. For 350 years, this Republic never won a war against the empires around it, because it never had to fight one. It simply made losing look so convincing that nobody bothered checking.